Good afternoon, everyone. It's a Sunday. We're grinding. This is a 7-day-a-week grind. I'm super hyped today. We have a very important second meeting with a buyer for one of our potential builds. And today, we're going to talk about how to be a successful realtor. We've already talked about working for free, getting on the right team, aligning yourself with the right people. But now we're going to talk about creating your own style, your own work ethic, and how to stand apart in a very crowded field of realtors. As you all know at this point, being a realtor is not my primary source of income. Now, does that mean that I'm going to put my clients on the back burner and give them less service? I'd like to think it's actually totally the opposite, and let me tell you why. Since my predominant business is being a developer, I know what it's like to be on the seller side. I know how to have all your eggs in one basket and have a tremendous amount of pressure. You've put in months of effort. In the case of a homeowner, you've invested years of your savings. And in the case of a buyer, you're going to be investing years of savings and making possibly one of the biggest decisions of your life. So I'd like to think that being a realtor as my secondary source of income has actually given me the ability to relate more with my clients and less with worrying about a commission check. Let me give you a little bit of background about today's important meeting. And we're also going to touch on something tied into a very important aspect of being a successful realtor, and that is to build your network of local realtors. A lot of the deals that you're going to do are going to be with your competition, and I really don't view it as competition, and I'm sure you've heard this from other successful agents. You need to collaborate with the other successful realtors in your area, and that's exactly how I'm getting to this point to have this second meeting with this client today. Now, just to give you a little background, I did a deal with this realtor about 4 years ago, one of my earlier builds, and ever since then I've stayed on top of them. They do a lot of work in my area of Hicksville and Plainview and Syosset, and whenever I got a couple new pieces of property, couple new builds, I would send them an update. And actually turns out that I sent him a screenshot of one of my posts recently on Instagram of all my new construction inventory. He forwarded it to somebody on his team, and that happened to be a perfect fit for their client. So they brought them here to Plainview 1, which is where we're standing right now, and it just wasn't the right fit for them. They were looking for something a little bit bigger, a 2-car garage, a little bigger property. They wanted a corner piece, and it turns out that Plainview 2 is a perfect fit for them. So over the past week, I've worked up a spec list. I have a set of plans printed out, and as soon as we're done with this episode, I'm gonna run back here, meet this client, and then take them to Plainview 2, and then go somewhere like a Starbucks or a pizzeria, sit down and have a conversation and see if we can get this thing into contract. I just had a great meeting with this client this past Sunday, and we're running out of time right now, but to make a long story short, by the time we were done with Plainview 1, we were vibing. And when we got here, it was just a straight up light bulb moment. They saw this big property, they saw the corner piece, and by the time we were done with that conversation, we were talking about tile and trim and paint. That's a very productive conversation in the first meeting. And if you're honest and if you're straightforward and you are responsive and listening to the needs of your client, then you're gonna feel everyone get comfortable around you. Even if they're not your client, everyone's engaged, everyone's comfortable, and that's when you start to break the ice and have a productive conversation. And that takes me to sort of my next point. If you're not engaged, how are you gonna build that rapport? If your victory dance takes place right after you get a listing, and this is the big problem that I have with a lot of the realtors that are successful in this area, it's all about getting the listing. And then they stick a lockbox on your door, and that's it. And they're gonna wait till the buyer is brought by another agent and collect their commission. To me, that's the starting point. You wanna be there for the showings because who knows your product better than you? And you want to be there for the open houses because how are you going to build your reputation and your rapport with the residents of a neighborhood? We all know that most of the people that come into an open house are neighbors. They want to see what's going on, check out the newest build, but that person's going to sell their house one day, their son or daughter, relative is going to buy a house one day, and by being present and building your rapport in every neighborhood that you get a listing, you're going to have the greatest impact. I have a bunch more tips on how to be a successful realtor, and truth be told, I'm still working on being a successful realtor myself. But if you like what you saw here today, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment below. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, @Pinnacle Real Estate, I've got content like this on deck every single day, the builds that I'm working on, the deals that I'm working on. I share all the details. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, everyone.